Welcome aboard the news review segment of the show. Don't you forget, today we're coming to you live from Parliament. My co-host, Mama Vio Uswabaji, will be coming to you from there. And we're going to have some very interesting interviews as well as, the State of the Nation address is delivered, constitutional requirement, at around 10 a.m. this morning. But right now, we dig into the papers and on the flip side, Mama V will also be sharing with us details from the Daily Guide and the Finder newspaper. But let's start from here. I have the Daily Graphic newspaper. And the banner headline this morning, Search for Next Speaker. NPP Council endorses Professor Aaron Mike Okwe. He is, you can call him the incumbent, and he has been endorsed. I'll dig into that story. There's also President delivers State of the Nation address today, and JHS's to run semester calendar. KG primary remain trimester. Let's go to some other news. Let's check out, usually on pages 16 and 17, interesting stories there. So this one, develop legal guidelines to recruit election officers. That's a group urging the Electoral Commission, the group calling itself the Center for Performance Tracking and Outcome Mapping Project Management Think Tank. And this is what they are suggesting. Later, I'll bring you some details of that. The minority leader, like we brought you in the news, has been saying, I'm talking about Haruna Idrisu, has been saying they've not been served with any writ of summons. Now, let's take a stab at this one, page 20, before we go to the middle spread. 69.3% pass licensure exams, and that has been a thorny issue that has been up for discussion in recent times. A total of 8,442 teachers sitting the mandatory exam in October have actually failed. What accounts for this and the licensure system? Is it something we ought to continue? Of course, there have been so many thoughts on them. Some say it is needless. Others say this is the way to go. What do you think? The middle spread of the paper says, government signs contract for Accra-Tema motorway expansion project. Then there's will ensure health and safety of students. That's according to the Ghana Health Service. Let's not forget yesterday, Kenyan students across different levels made it back to school, but note as well that, the picture is different in different parts of the world. Right now, the UK is back under lockdown, and in Britain, if you like, the lockdown is expected to extend into at least mid-February. That's on the back of, the sharp rise in cases, over 27,000 of those new ones, and, all the dynamics, the mutation of the virus, and the new coronavirus, if I can call it that, because it's already the novel coronavirus. But this new variant is transmitted even more easily. And looking at the concentrations and all of that, the UK is back under lockdown. We heard Boris Johnson. We've heard the Scottish leader as well. So looking at all these dynamics, some would say going back, reopening schools, wahala. But Charlie, at some point, it must happen, yeah? So we'll get into the details of that. Then parents welcome school reopening. Related to that, that's on page 32. Picture there of the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. The health sector is also under review on page 33. And on the back page, Zoom Lion acquires additional vehicles and equipment to improve services. They've also been at the forefront of things with regard to the spraying, disinfection exercises and all of that. So, and of course, yesterday as well, we heard from the Water Resources and Sanitation Minister, Madam Cecilia Dapa, in that same respect. Let me wrap up with the Economy Times. So I'm just doing the headlines and see whether Mama V can connect with us. If she's not ready, I'll get into the details before we proceed from there. The Economy Times, a paper that has not been so consistent recently. We don't get it every day. That's what I mean. Banks remain robust, solid, and liquid to support growth. Banks remain robust, solid, and liquid to support growth. And that's according to the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. There's also African traders to start enjoying benefits under continental free trade this week. You've heard of it, HQ in Ghana, led by a South African, but like with the AU, the African Union, and maybe even ECOWAS, people wonder, is it going to serve its real purpose? I mean, are we borderless even when it comes to trade, when it comes to moving on? So that's one there. Ghana economy responding positively, but more needed to be done. On the back page of the Economy Times, CD ends 2020 with 3.9% depreciation to the dollar. Then work starts on Accra-Tema motorway expansion project, and then Ghanaians to enjoy free trade with UK soon. Should time allow us, I'll be delving into some of those stories. But right now, let's cross over to Parliament House, where my co-host, Mama V Abwaje, is stationed, and she's joining us for the review. Mama V, if you can hear me, let's connect with you now. Let's take a look at what papers you have from Parliament. And the view, by the way, is beautiful behind you.
Okay. What should I say? Thank you on behalf of Parliament.
Yes, and you are also looking beautiful, okay, as always.
Well, thank you, Ben. Listen, one of the things that you easily notice when you come to Parliament House today is the security. Security is very tight. And if you can see behind me, then you can see the Job 600. That is what houses our MPs. And we've got lots of security presence as well. If you look at the frontage of the building that occupies the Speaker, there's lots of security there as well. So really, if you don't have any business and if you don't have an invitation, don't even think about it. And that's how it looks like and feels like here in Parliament. Also because of the inauguration of the president-elect, remember the dissolution of Parliament. So it's extremely tight in terms of security. And you'd find that people are arriving pretty early so they can settle. I've got the finder and the guide, but I just want to quickly say hello to my colleague, Omahene Kwabena Asante, who's also here trying to settle so he can also do his business. So good morning to you.
Yeah. If any way, I'm before is that my guy, Ben?
Yeah, Ben is in
Ben. I've probably to make a tree. It's a blend of joy and then Adum, easily going Makola.
But I thought you came in today as MP for...
you know already, one of the newly elected ones. So I'm here just to familiarize and know that I'm now looking for where I'm supposed to be. That's my office. But I'm stunned, just like Mamavi said, the security situation here, I don't know, but I can't talk much. They understand security better than we do. If you are not careful, you feel intimidated. But I think they know better than what we know. So for now, we'll cope and believe in the strategy they are applying. I believe that at the end of the day, what we need is Ghana should be first in all the things that we do and say. So whether security or no security, any attempt by anybody with any intent, that is contrary to what Ghana needs. I'm sure it's one of the reasons why we have such presence here. But I believe and hope things will go smooth and Ghana continues to be number one in Africa. Mama, yeah.
Okay, Professor. We should poach him to JoyNews. And that's my colleague, Omahene Kwabena Asante. He'll be on Bijim this morning. That program is also live here, of course. We're covering this last State of the Nation address by the President in his first term on all our sister stations and, of course, here on JoyNews. So let me just quickly, I think I'm doing the Finder. Front page of the Finder newspaper, you'd find senior high school, junior high school to run semester system. Government proposes November 2021 for BECE, September, October 2021 proposal for WASI. One of the intriguing things, one of the things that parents perhaps are not sharing is the fact that not all children are happy to go to school, not because of coronavirus, but some of them feel just lazy and they don't want to go back to school. I've got two kids. One is excited, he misses school, he cannot wait. The other one keeps asking, Mommy, why are we going back to school on the 15th of January? He doesn't want to go back to school. But the timetable is out. I guess we're clear in terms of what we're doing. Also, 3,658 health workers contracted COVID-19. Many Ghanaians say they will not take COVID-19 vaccine. Now, that's a big one. if you ask some of us right now, I'm not sure we can easily say we will take the vaccine or not. I guess it would take a lot more education. Parents support president for reopening schools. And then Asin North parliamentary results petition filed at Ogwa High Court. So that's how the front page of the Finder newspaper looks like. I've got one more paper, but Ben, I guess you have another one to look at.
Well, Mama V, so thank you very much. And I see you're enjoying yourself. Edruchino. Edruchino. That just say but it seems it wasn't a close contest at all. This one. Now I said for the vanishing. But we'll test you when you come back into the studio. So let's have your other paper and then we shall come back in the studio.
Masa Mekachi pa. All right, so I'm just going to do, I think it's the Daily Guide news. It's a Daily Guide newspaper that I have. On the front page of the Daily Guide, Serene Insurance meets 50 million Ghana cedis new minimum capital requirements ahead of 2022 NIC official deadline. That's the National Insurance Commission. Also, Supreme Court decides Hohoe seat today. Chikata thrown out, and that's the initial objection to one of the judges on that panel. Zoom Lion partners government for schools reopening. Essentially, will be disinfecting the schools. No show at NDC MP's trial. Of course, they had stated that they were not going to make a show, but now we know that some hurdles must be crossed if this is going to happen. As we engaged the executive director of ASEPA yesterday, he indicated that really this is not something that we should be looking at, especially because of the fact that there were other electoral-related issues during the election, before, during, and after. And this is not, especially because of the challenges with this 8th Parliament, this is not something that we should be doing now, because there has to be a lot of negotiations, and if the minority feels like this is what you're doing to us now, they may not be easy when it comes to conversations in the 8th Parliament. Also, MPs elect register. The most prominent picture is what you find on the front page of the Daily Guide this morning. That's the one with John Peter Amewo, I guess because of all the controversies with the court cases, which, of course, we haven't seen the conclusion of that yet. Let's see if I have the center spread of the paper. No, I think I have the back page. So I think it's full of some sports stories. You can take a look at it. One of the heavy conversations, Chelsea, are they replacing their manager or not? The pressure is on. Basically, Ben, I think I see the center spread of the paper, so let's quickly do this. And that's the entertainment page. Nick Papo-Thompson kicked out of Date Rush with a question mark. Women are now leading men in cheating. Ooh, that's a big one. It's not one that we're proud of, by the way. There are other stories in the center spread of the Daily Guide newspaper, Ben.
Right, Mama V. So I'll take over from here for a bit and we shall cross over to you right before we wrap up. I know there are some of those. Maybe you should be talking about the bit about women overtaking men in. So I'll get back to you on that one and other stories. But let's take a quick look at some of the stories from the Daily Graphic. Something you want to say? I see you want to say something.
Oh, no, you go and come back. I wanted to talk about the fact that we say that what men can do, women can do better. I guess it's not surprising that women are also cheating better, if that's what's stated in the paper is true.
Right. Anyway, so let's dig into the Daily Graphic and focus on one of the crucial matters in the next few days that we're going to have to look at. Midnight tomorrow, the 7th Parliament will be dissolved. A minute after that, the parliamentarians and swearing in. Then they'll have to, elect, if you like, a speaker. And following which, on the 7th, those in Parliament will see to, the inauguration of a new, president the ceremony, the pomp, the pageantry, everything that goes along with it. But this time it is going to be on the august House of Parliament. So search for next speaker. NPP Council endorses Professor Aaron Mike Okoye. That's the first story. And the National Council of the New Patriotic Party has unanimously nominated Professor Aaron Mike Okoye for the position of Speaker of Parliament for the second consecutive time. Now get this, if he gets the approval of the 8th Parliament, Professor Okoye, who is a 3-time Member of Parliament for Dobin Kwabenya, will become the second Speaker after the late Justice Daniel Francis Annan to serve 2 terms as Speaker of Parliament. And so that's one thing to take note of. And the members, you might be wondering who the members were. Member of Parliament for Swami, who is also Majority Leader, H.A. Mensah Bonsu, was part of those who selected him, asking for if you like, repetition of Aaron Mike Okoye. Member of Parliament for Ifutu Apenyo Markin, among others as well, had also been penciled for Deputy Majority Leader. Now, so moving on from there, the positions of Speaker, First Deputy Speaker and Second Deputy, will be nominated on the floor of the House after the MPs-elect have been duly sworn in, like I said, midnight tomorrow. After midnight tomorrow, when the 7th Parliament actually fades away or is dissolved. Now, the Daily Graphic actually reached out to Professor Okoye, and he expressed excitement at the news and thanked the council for the confidence reposed in him. And tied to that, you can also check out the profile of Aaron Mike Okoye. I guess we know a bit of that, but it comes to the fore again, especially now that he has a speakership, role behind him. And to address the needs of, the vulnerable, Professor Okoye initiated the use of sign language. These are some of his achievements. Sign language interpretation in Parliament for the benefit of persons with hearing impairment. So basically what is done in his first term in office being spoken about there. Let's move on to some other stories. And you might want to check out this one. NDC shares Bono with NPP. I'm talking about the region. And the NDC fought a spirited fight in the just-ended 2020 general elections in the Bono region and increased its seats from 1 to 6 during the exercise. In the process, the party was able to snatch the Wenchi seats considered to be a sacred area for the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition, because Wenchi is the birthplace of Prime Minister of the Second Republic, Professor Kofi Abrefa Buzia. More in that story, talking about the upset, for example, when the NDC's candidate Seydou Haruna obtained 26,000 plus votes to defeat NPP stalwart Professor George Jambafor, who had 23,102. And of course, the Tyne constituency also coming into the picture there. Let's move to this one on page 25 before maybe we do the center spread. Will ensure health, safety of students. And this is a particularly interesting matter for me because, like I indicated to you, the UK back under lockdown, Japan, state of emergency, among other things. The variant of COVID-19, evolving in other parts of the world. I always say it's not luck, but I guess God really, intervenes for us, because looking at what is happening in the UK, if some of those things were to happen here, I don't know. I really don't know. You don't use your left hand to point at your hometown, but I'm just hoping that we don't get to that point, because we simply don't have the medical facilities or human resource to take care of that. So we all need to be cautious. But the story says the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumabwaje, has said measures are being put in place to ensure the health and safety of students and pupils as they prepare to go back to school this month. The measures include the mapping of schools to health facilities, the provision of face masks for students, pupils, teaching and non-teaching staff, and the institutionalization of water, sanitation and hygiene facilities in all schools. So the numbers are also broken down. As of January 1st, 2021, the country had recorded 55,220 COVID-19 cases with a positivity rate of about 8.2%. Initially, it was pretty low. Now we're creeping towards the global average, if you like, of about 10%. So far, 54,005 victims have recovered, and been discharged from health facilities, while 336 deaths have been recorded. And so that is it from there. Let me quickly do this story, in the Economy Times, and then I'll cross over back to Mamavi. Maybe she might have some add-ups. I believe she does, and then we'll go online. Now, on the back page of the Economy Times, CD ends 2020 with 3.9% depreciation to dollar. And the Ghana CD ended last year with a depreciation rate of 3.93 to the US dollar, making it one of the best performing currencies in sub-Saharan Africa. The impressive performance also makes it the best since 2017, when it depreciated by only 4.88%. At the Forex Bureau, the rate of depreciation was even lower at 2.2%. And Joy Business learned the local currency actually appreciated in the final 2 weeks of December 2020 at the Forex from a rate of 3.1%. So good times, telling times. Of course, COVID-19 impacting everything, but we pray for a better 2021. Mama V is not available now, so let's do this. I was going to cross over to her. Let's do myjoyonline.com, and so NPP nominates Professor Michael Quay as Speaker of 8th Parliament. That is, the major story there. There's also Justice Honyanuga Kenhea Ameu's case. Supreme Court dismisses Chikata's bias claims. We will use judicial processes to challenge court summons. That is according to Haruna Idrisu. He's been talking on that one. And then Jean Mensah is the best EC chair Ghana has ever had. That's according to Professor Stephen Adjei. Akufo-Addo delivers State of the Nation address to 7th Parliament today. Expect that from around 10 a.m. NDC might lose deputy speakership position if they don't cooperate. That's according to John Bwedu. Interesting development there, threatening that they might lose it if they don't cooperate. What cooperation means, according to him, you have to delve into that story. Now, court forced to adjourn hearing as NDC MPs fail to honor police summons. That is there as well. And then Ameu registers as MP despite court injunction. Interesting development there. Joe Biden hopeful of future dialogue with Akufo-Addo. And in recent times, as Trump has pushed to get more votes in Georgia and the rest, Joe Biden jabbed him by asking why he wants to be president, especially as he's not willing to do the work. But let's go to the BBC now. And Biden and Trump rally Georgia voters on eve of poll. Leaders Liverpool lose at Southampton. And that was a shocker. Danny Ings netting in the 2nd minute yesterday. Liverpool not able to overturn that. South Africa scientists seek to understand new variant of the coronavirus. That is also there. And then the CAR president, Twadera, wins re-election. Then schools reopen in Kenya after 9 months, as I was mentioning to you earlier. And African countries bid for COVID vaccine. So that's it, I think, from the online portals. There's also the question there, maybe to wrap up with our final one. When will Africans get a coronavirus vaccine? In the UK, they are trying the Oxford, Zaneka, vaccine. But when are we getting ours? I remember hearing from Mr. President that maybe in some 3 months' time we might, but others have suggested it might take maybe 6 months plus. Let's quickly check out some Twitter trends and proceed from there. And so I'm going to focus on number 10, but trending today in Ghana on Twitter, Jack Ma, the Chinese billionaire, is trending. Jurgen Klopp, the manager for Liverpool, is also trending at number 9. Joe Biden is trending at number 8. At number 7, COVID-19. Southampton is trending at number 7 on the back of that victory over Liverpool. And then Christ Jesus is trending at number 4. Liverpool is at number 3. Dub Nation at number 2. And Wuntumi Sports at number 1. But I'll tell you why I'm interested particularly in what is happening at number 10 with Jack Ma trending. Now, the question is being asked, where is Alibaba founder Jack Ma? What the saga of one of the world's richest men reveals about China under Xi Jinping. In fact, if you check out what Reuters has been saying, it says China's highest profile entrepreneur Jack Ma has not appeared in a public setting since a late October forum in Shanghai, where he blasted China's regulatory system in a speech that put him on a collision course with officials. Al Jazeera also capturing that Alibaba's founder disappearance from the public eye has left social media asking, where is Jack Ma? So that is also trending there, and a lot of people accusing the CCP, I should say, in China, the ruling administration, of maybe having something to do with the disappearance of a number of Chinese billionaires, not just Jack Ma, but he has come into the picture because of his prominence. And I'll just wrap up with this comment from one Mike Solana, who says, China is what happens when guillotine Twitter runs a country. The whereabouts of Jack Ma are still unclear, but the terrifying culture in which he vanished is not at all a mystery. Familiarize yourself with this stuff before you defend the CCP. So that's it for the news review this morning, as we've brought you the picture from Ghana and across the world. The rest of the show continues. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.